Greetings, greetings, greetings. On behalf of Starseed Galactic Federation, I have been given access to this knowledgeable information from my Akashic records for the purpose of helping humanity. This information has been given directly to me as a divine channel, and any use or reproduction without the proper acknowledgement from where it was received will result in instant karma for the plagiarizing parties and or individuals, and so it is. So today, I would like to talk to you guys about being successfully traumatized. Because the normalcy of trauma, the normalcy of the acceptance of being traumatized is at an all-time high, and we need an intervention. We need an intervention. It's time for people to start being more self-aware and realizing that a lot of the things that society has ingrained into us, has programmed into us, from TV, from media, is not normal and it's not okay. The things that we learned in the music, the things that we saw in the movies, it's not okay. It's time for us to make a change. A lot of people don't even realize that they have been successfully traumatized because it's become a generational curse. They grew up seeing their parents being traumatized. They grew up seeing their grandparents being traumatized. They grew up with friends in toxic relationships, seeing them being traumatized. Hell, they grew up being traumatized. And to them, it's normal. And unfortunately, now, thanks to technology, you can actually see, although there's more negativity going on in the media, you do have some people who are showing you that that's not normal and it's not okay. And I'm going to tell you, it is okay to change. It does not matter. Once you realize that your actions are actually trauma responses, it's up to you to go and find the help that you need. If you're unable to help yourself, it's up to you to be able to open your mouth and go find the help that you need, or go tell somebody, hey, I need help and I don't know where to start, because you're traumatizing your children. You're traumatizing your significant other who came into that relationship with love on the brain. Unfortunately, a lot of us were raised in families where, it was just tradition to do certain things. Or, you always stuck by your man. My family, I'm not talking about me, I'm just giving you an example. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, my family don't believe in divorces, so therefore, everybody in the family gets their ass beat. All the females in the family are in domestic violent relationships, and they stay with it because it's a family tradition not to get divorced. They have been successfully traumatized. Unfortunately, relationships are in the trash right now. The dating pool is a piss pool because so many people have been successfully traumatized throughout their experiences with people of low integrity or low morale, that now, instead of going and seeking therapy, getting the help that they need, taking a training time out to go heal, instead of doing that, they're holding on to that trauma, and it's turning them angry and bitter on the inside, and they're going and they're taking it out on people who did nothing to them. A lot of people are missing out on their blessings. A lot of people are missing out on true, real, healthy love because they have been successfully traumatized. And unfortunately, you also have people out there, now this, I'm talking about relationships. You also have people out there who they feel as though they should jump from one relationship to the other. If one relationship was toxic and unhealthy, they feel like, okay, well, let me jump right into the next one. There used to be a saying that I used to hear all the time growing up. The best way to get over the ex-man is to get with the next man, right? And that's how that toxic cycle continues. That's how you become successfully traumatized, because you didn't take the time out to heal. You didn't take the time out to heal. Once you realize that something is wrong, as a reasonably minded individual, if you know you deserve better, if you know you want better, it is your obligation to go and heal and not traumatize somebody else. The saying of misery loves company has never rang more true than it's ringing nowadays, and it is very sad, okay? We have children that we are raising. There are generations that are coming up behind us that are seeing us accept certain traumas as the new norm. And what do you think is going to happen? They're going to think that that is normal also. And therefore, the toxic cycle will just continue and continue. Right? Unfortunately, you have men out here who were traumatized. A lot of them weren't even traumatized from their own relationships. They became traumatized because they grew up seeing their mothers being treated like shit. Right? That will do something to you also. If you see somebody being in something that is abusive, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, hell, even financial abuse, a lot of times, if people keep seeing it on a repetitive basis, they will think it is normal. And then they will go and do that somewhere else. And that's how it spreads, like a virus. It's not normal. Society has become successfully traumatized to the point where a lot of people will willingly go and choose the bigger evil because that is all they know. That fear of the unknown, that fear of change is slowly but surely killing a lot of people. Slowly but surely. There's absolutely no way that you can have a successful anything if you're successfully traumatized and you're just putting that trauma on other people. You're spreading that trauma wherever you go. You're breaking innocent hearts. You're taking innocent lives because you're successfully traumatized. Not only is that selfish, but let me tell you something. Whether you are a child of God, whether you are into Scientology, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you something about the cycle of life. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around, right? Karma never misses an address. So at some point, you are going to have to face yourself. You're going to have to face those inner demons and you're going to have to heal. Stop accepting trauma. That's the first step to not being successfully traumatized, is to stop accepting trauma. A lot of times, people will see the warning signs, okay? Everybody is gifted with a conscience. Everybody is gifted with a conscience. It's just so many people choose not to listen to it. And at this point, it's starting to cost people their lives. It's starting to cost people their freedom. It's starting to cost people their mental health. It's starting to cost people their peace. Heed those signs. Nobody is going to save you from trauma. It's up to you to save yourself. This society needs to undo a lot of things. A lot of things that we thought were customary, a lot of things that we thought were tradition, those were really just trauma responses. And now, thanks to evolution, not just in technology, but evolution of people, our minds, we know better. But some people, they get comfortable in filth. I'm just going to say it's filth, because traumatizing somebody, that's filthy work. A lot of the times people are getting comfortable in that because people do not want to do the necessary inner work. A lot of times people do not want to go and seek the necessary help, right? People would rather stay there with their trauma and place it on others instead of doing the necessary work or going to get the necessary help because they have too much pride. I'm going to tell you, everybody that is alive on this earth, that didn't just come fresh out the womb, has suffered with some form of mental illness or mental anxiety. And majority of that comes from trauma. Majority of those come from trauma. Anxiety comes from trauma. Depression comes from trauma, right? PTSD comes from trauma. A lot of these issues that people have come from trauma and the suppression of that trauma. When you suppress that trauma, it will manifest in unhealthy ways. And nowadays, it's starting to manifest in people's relationships. It's starting to manifest in people's interactions with others. So many people are so successfully traumatized that they can't accept love. They can't accept kindness from others. That's how you know it's gotten so bad, to the point where people cannot accept love. Once You start looking at somebody funny when they treat you good. Once you start treating somebody bad who is treating you good, who shows you they have the best intentions for you, you have been successfully traumatized. So if you're wondering why it is that you always push the good things away, or why you're always drawn to toxic things, toxic people, toxic activities, toxic environments, it's because you have been successfully traumatized. The first step is the awareness. It's not normal. It's not okay. It's trauma. I beseech everybody, please go heal. Because at this point, the world has been set to self-destruct. Those who know better do better. It's harder work to live with the trauma. Once you acknowledge the fact that you have been successfully traumatized in any area, the next step is going to get that help and do the work. You'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much more alive. You'll start attracting the things that you truly deserve and you truly want. And you'll start repelling the bullshit. That's the reason why you attract all that bullshit. It's because you're successfully traumatized. Please, if you or someone you know has been successfully traumatized and it shows in their actions, their interactions with others, or the things that they attract, be the bigger person. Don't stoop to their level. Sometimes you have to be the example. It's okay to have trauma. Everybody has trauma. Life is traumatic, especially here on Earth. Life is very traumatic here in Earth school. However, it can change for you. It really can. But the first step is acknowledging it. So a lot of times people like to do other things to cope with trauma, right? You smoking too much weed, that might be a trauma response. You drinking all the time, that might be a trauma response. You do it all the time to the point where you think that it's normal, it's okay, you've been successfully traumatized. If you can't deal with a highly emotional situation without getting drunk or high first, you've been successfully traumatized. Life is good, but it can be great. You just have to heal. True success does not involve trauma. It involves learning lessons, moving forward, and being better because of it, not bitter, like I always say. So please, if you don't know how to heal from your traumas, check out my videos. I have a lot. I have a lot of trauma. I have a lot of healing. I got a lot of healing wisdom. That's what I'm here for. I refused to be successfully traumatized. And I was diagnosed with PTSD. But I decided, no, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to take the time out to heal. Sometimes people would rather be successfully traumatized and just continue in the same toxic cycles and be around the same toxic people and do the same traumatic things, experience the same traumatic events over and over and over again because they've gotten comfortable in that. That doesn't make it right. You deserve better. You want better for your children, you have to be the example. Just saying. You can check me out. My YouTube is Empress Oracle 333. I have plenty of videos telling my traumatic experiences and how I've healed. Just in case you don't know where to start. Good luck on your healing journey. And I'll see you again. Bye.